Yeah. So hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So last class we were discussing about TypeScript. So TypeScript almost finished, and we also discussed yesterday the design pattern called factory pattern. So one more design pattern which is pending is dependency injection. So what is my plan today is we will discuss the dependency injection concept once we start dependency injection in Angular. Okay, so that's the best place to understand the dependency injection concept. Okay, so once you start with Angular, there you will see some sort of dependency injection in Angular services. So then you clearly, compare is the TypeScript and Angular together. Okay, so that concept we'll discuss when we start with Angular services. Okay, fine. Now from today, we're gonna discuss Angular. Okay, so first let's start with Angular today. So what is Angular? What are the features of Angular? And what is the architecture of Angular application? How to get the first application and complete application flow, and then how to create our own components and how to apply the styles, data binding, events binding, forms binding. Like a lot of concepts are there, like um, routing, navigation, everything. Okay. So first let's start with Angular. Okay. Here I have opened this. Yep. So Angular 10. So we know about this. What is Angular? So Angular is open source framework. We all know it is used it for developing the rich client-side applications that is given by the Google. And this is released in the year 2016. Okay. And the current version what we are discussing is 10 Angular 10. Okay, and this is the best framework to build the client-side applications along with the React JS. So React and Angular both are now competitors. So uh, so it is to develop a client-side applications. Okay, so first of all, some benefits of Angular we'll see once developed by Google. It works on TypeScript. So every logic, in Angular, every logic, every source code, like most of the logic, you have to write in TypeScript files. Okay, you configure, of course, you configure them in HTML and you write some CSS as well, but mostly the logic will be in TypeScript. Okay, and that will be converted to JavaScript and compiles on the browser. So we don't bother what is the JavaScript got created. Our mainly focus on writing the logic in TypeScript. Okay, so no conversion execution required for us. So Angular will take care about it. Next, so Angular, the main feature is it is component based development. It means generally why this Angular and React frameworks has came into the picture is to solve or to reduce the complexity of client-side application development, because uh, previously okay, how to keep this. Okay, so nowadays what happened, the customer wants everything on the client side, so they don't want the page refresh. Okay, so nowadays client side development has becoming more complex than server side. So to solve this complexity, to reduce the complexity, we have Angular and React. So in which format, in which way they will simplify the application development at client side is the main thing behind is component based development. It means for one page, they will divide it into a multiple components, multiple parts. For example, you have a page which have nav bar, sidebar, footer, like that. So every particular part is called as one component. So they divide the application and they develop. Okay, so we'll see what exactly that. And two-way. Yes, the best feature of Angular is two-way data binding. It supports. Okay, so you can do two-way data binding using JavaScript as well, using DOM manipulation, but Angular does two-way data binding is in an easy manner. You don't need to use the regular DOM objects to access. So this does automatically for us. Okay, and so both for mobile and web development. So if you learn Angular, you don't need to learn any other framework like Android or Swift. There is a framework called Ionic. So Ionic is purely based on Angular, so you can also develop mobile applications. So one framework can develop web and mobile applications. So this is purely focused on web development. And lastly, we'll see at least one application on Ionic for mobile. Okay, and dependency injection, yes, it uses dependency injection design pattern, and it also uses MVC design pattern, means model, view, and controller. This is one of the most successful design pattern. It is followed in multiple frameworks like Spring and other. Even Angular and React.js follows this MVC design pattern. Okay, and the advantages is modularity. So what is modularity means? It will divide, it allows you to divide your application module by module, and each module is divided into components, and each component is having their own file structure. Okay, so you can divide the application and you can develop one by one, and later you can club all together to develop a bigger complex application. So that's a modularity is an advantage of Angular. So these are the features of Angular, and easy to test. Yes, testing is supported in Angular. Testing will see end of Angular. Okay, and it can easily integrate with any backend technology. You can integrate Angular with Java. You can integrate Angular with .NET, PHP, Python. You can even integrate with Node and Express.js. So in this course, we are discussing as a backend is Node and Express.js as a backend. Okay, front end will be Angular. If you know already Spring Boot or something of Java, you can also connect the Angular with Spring Boot. Only thing is the REST API. Okay, I tell you how to do API calls from the backend. Okay, so you all know the prerequisites, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and TypeScript. And then, yeah, this is very important to know. This is very important to know. So in the entire Angular plan, we have 7 modules. The very first module, that is TypeScripts, we have finished. Okay, and now we are jumping into the major module in this entire Angular story is Angular fundamentals. Okay, so in the Angular fundamentals, we will discuss in and out of Angular. The most almost 60% of Angular gets covered here. Okay, remaining 40% is this much. Okay, now once you're done with this NGRX and then backend and then Metal UI and then all this. Okay, so first let's start with in Angular fundamentals, what we can discuss. I think it's here. Okay, so in Angular fundamentals, we will discuss first what is Angular CLI and commands. Actually, Angular contains a full of file structure, lot of configuration and huge amount of files, and a very complex file structure when compared to React. Okay, so in this, there is one command line interface. In Angular, there is one command line interface. Using some commands, you can generate the file structure automatically. Okay, suppose you want to generate a component, you want to create a service, you want to create an interceptor, you want to create a guards, right? Uh, any routing you want to create, you want to create a module. So for any snippet of Angular you can create automatically by using just commands, that is Angular CLI. And even the entire Angular application can also be created using this Angular CLI. Okay, so everyone has to create the Angular application not from scratch, because it's very hard to create application from scratch. So we have Angular CLI, just one command which will create the entire Angular folder structure. Okay, and that is production ready. Okay, and then we'll see the architecture today. What is the Angular architecture and folder structure, and we also see the complete application flow. Okay, so initially we must know the application flow, then only we can do the changes to the application. So we'll see that. And after that, we'll see what is Angular component, what is module, how to create them, and we'll see how to apply styles using normal CSS and Bootstrap. And then we'll see what is data binding, events binding, and forms binding. And then we'll see the directives and pipes. Directives means like a conditional display, and pipes, you want to format the data which you are displaying on the screen. And we also have HTTP module. It means how to fetch data from the server, how to connect your application to the server to fetch data, how to call REST APIs. Okay, so that's the HTTP module. And we also have a routing. So here we'll see the routing and navigation, and we also see the form validation and authentication. Okay, so these are all the things comes under Angular fundamentals. After we finish this, we'll move on to NGRX. Before that, one application also will be there in this. I did not listed out. One big basket application will develop, and that is the complete full stack application. So once we're done with this, we will learn actually server part, and then we'll develop the full stack application, and then we'll move on to NGRX. Don't worry, long story. Fine. So first, let me tell you what is the architecture of Angular. See, every Angular application is having a root module. I think you might know, right? Every project will have a certain modules like admin module, user module, products module, clients module, like that. So every Angular application root level is having one module. Okay, and that module internally contains another level called components. So Angular application is a collection of modules. Each module will have a collection of components, and each component uh, can be noted as like this. Each component means this can be navbar one component, home page one component, user list one component, details one component, like that. So for whenever you create a fresh Angular application, that comes along with a root module and one root component. If you wish, you can create your own module and your own components as well. But it comes with a root module called app module and also one root component called app component. Okay, sir, what is mean by the component? What is mean by the component is, if you can see the page of any Angular page, you might have like this. You have a navbar, you have sidebar, you have main content, and you have another sidebar and footer. So uh, there's this thing like, if you want to develop a page like this in normal, just regular HTML, CS, and Bootstrap, what you have to do, you will write the complete source code of HTML in one single file, correct? But what Angular says is this navbar is called one component. Okay, it's a separate component, and sidebar one is one component, and main content is one component, and sidebar two is one component, and footer is one component. So in Angular, one single page can be divided into a multiple components. Okay, sir, what exactly the component? How can you develop a component? What are the files required to make a component? For example, I want to develop this navbar. I want to make some nice colors, content, and all. I want to make a navbar. What you will do? If you want to develop anything on front end, you need one HTML, one CSS, and one JavaScript. But this is Angular, so not JavaScript. You need TypeScript. Okay, so if you want to develop only this particular navbar, just this navbar is called as one component. So each component is a collection of files. What are the files is? For each component we have one HTML, one CSS, one TS file, like this. So let's take a navbar component. Okay, the whole page cut into one component. So that contains navbar.html. So inside you will write only the navbar code, HTML code, and navbar.css, which contains all the styles about the navbar, and navbar.ts. For if you want to do any DOM manipulation, okay, when you click on a button on HTML, I want to do some sort of logic for that button click. So for any kind of user inputs and any data you want to display on the screen for this particular navbar area, so that comes with TS. So HTML is for the design, and CSS is for the styles, and TS file is for the logic. Okay, so every component is a part of three files. Along with this, one more file will be there, navbar.spec.ts, that is called testing. Okay, every component individually you can test using the spec.ts. That not listed out, that also will be there. Okay, so in a complete picture, Angular application is divided into modules like user module, admin module, customer module, like that. Each module, for example, let's take a home module, right? So on that, I have let's take each module having multiple pages. Okay, so each page you should take which contains navbar, which contains sidebar, this one. So each this portion is called as one component, and each component having this type of files. So you have a clear separation. You can only just focus on one thing, okay, completely. And any activity, any DOM manipulation, any logic, any data, if you want to manipulate in this particular navbar, that data has to come from TS file, and this itself is connection to the services, and that connect to this server database and all. Okay, just forget about server services and all. So just one component. This is a general architecture, and before we proceed with the real these things, first let's create a basic Angular application. Okay, so how to create a basic Angular application is there is a command line that is called Angular CLI. Okay, so using this Angular CLI, we will create any Angular application. Okay, so let's see what is this. You have an official website also. uh, so we have already installed this Angular CLI. Let me show you that. I can go to Google. Let's say Angular CLI. Okay, this is the website for CLI. This is not just Angular website, only command line interface for Angular. Actual Angular website I show you in a moment, but I take some time to create a project. So let's create a project and then we'll discuss what is Angular website and all. Okay, so first of all, if you want to generate any Angular project, you have to use this command line interface. This will generate the folder structure, everything. The basic setup will make it by this command. So we have already installed this Angular CLI. Let me do it one more time. Let me open a command line. In this, you can just copy this command, copy that, and you can paste it, enter. So we have already done that, but one more time. Okay, it will take some time because it has to download some some files, so a lot of files from Google.
It is fetching files from internet,
Yes, correct. So make
central
sure,
repo kind of thing.
yeah. So make sure you have internet connection to run this command. Okay. In between, you get some kind of warning, so just ignore the warnings. Okay. And yeah, I think it's done. Mm, yeah, it's done. Okay, so once it is done, CLS, you can check the version of it. Just say ng space hyphen hyphen version, enter. Yeah, so Angular CLI as installed, its version is currently 10.1. Okay, so this is the data about so its modules and all will come. Okay, fine. So we got Angular CLI, and let's close this. Okay, so we next command is ng new my dream app. Okay, so this is the command to create the first application of Angular, and you can go to that folder and then you can run the server. Okay, so these are the steps. Okay, so ng new and the application name. Okay, for example, I want to create the very first application first app. That's my application name called first app. So how to create is ng new first app. So ng is the command line interface we have just installed. So once you have installed Angular CLI, so ng command starts working. So ng new and the uh, project name, your application name. Okay, so initially it is first app, first hyphen app, and don't give underscore, it is invalid, and don't give space also, it is invalid. Okay, we have just single word, you can make like this. If we have two words, make sure you have to write hyphen but not underscore. Okay, underscore is invalid in the application names. Okay, fine. Okay, sir, this command is to create Angular project, but where we'll execute this? If I say command prompt, sir, can I type the command here, ng new first app? What happened? Yes, you can type the command, but where is this location? It is in the C drive. It means if you hit the command, it's going to create your application in the C drive. But where is our workspace? In D drive, some workspace folder. Okay, so I never encourage you to create a workspace in C drive because we have our own workspace. I can show you. See, in workspace, I have taken a folder called Angular Evening Batch TypeScript. See, in workspace folder, Angular Evening 2020 TypeScript. So TypeScript is finished. Okay, so now we are moving on to Angular, and backend also will come. So what I do is in this particular location, I create another folder called Angular. Okay, because I want my complete source code here because I want to create a lot of applications about Angular in this. Okay, so in this Angular, I want to create the first app. Okay, and even in Angular we have a lot of modules also. What modules are there? If you can see, you have TypeScript one module, and then Angular fundamentals NGRX, like multiple things are there. So can we, I have created a TypeScript folder which contains all the TypeScript content. Fine, but I want to create now Angular fundamentals which contains everything. Okay, so better I'll do one thing. I create another folder called Angular hyphen fundamentals folder. Okay, so this is another module of our course, this one. So inside I'll create all the content, just like Angular architecture, components, bootstrap, everything will come inside that folder. Okay, that's a plan. Okay, so in the Angular fundamentals, I want to create the first application. Okay, how to create a first application is you need to open a command line at this particular location and run the command. So let me copy this address. Okay, open a command line, cd space change directory and paste, enter. Okay, it is not went because it is in D drive. So just say D colon enter. So CLS to clear the screen. Okay, so now I am in D drive, Angular fundamental. So here I want to create my project. Okay, how to create is ng new first hyphen app. Okay, this is the command. Just press enter and make sure before you hit this command, check your internet connection because again, this will download a lot of files from the internet. Okay, so once I hit this command, I got a question. Would you like to add Angular routing? As of now, no routing, but just say yes. Okay, in future we'll add routing. So just say yes. Why? If your answer is why, it is like yes, enter. Okay. Once I say enter, it asks for what is the style sheet format you're looking for. Uh, Not all this, you can just select anything you want, but we were starting with the plain CSS. So you can select the default CSS and then see. If you click on down arrow, it will go to the blue color for selected style format. So we just select the CSS and then press enter. Okay, see, it is created a lot of folders like a src folder, environments folder, app folder, and a lot of files. It's still downloading things. Okay, so I can tell you one Angular application file size is around 120 MB. Okay, one Angular project's file size, that default. Okay, the basic setup of Angular application is of 120 MB. So it's going to download 120 MB for us. Okay, a lot of modules and all. Okay, and on top of that, we'll add our own content. Okay, fine. So this will take some time, depend on your internet speed. Okay, so meanwhile, we'll just take a look at Angular website. We'll just take a look at Angular website. Angular website, there are actually two websites for Angular. One is Angular JS website and Angular website. So people will confuse. Angular JS is there. This is outdated. Angular JS is like little outdated. If you can see this is Angular JS website. Okay, the very existing, the very starting framework of Angular is this one. This runs on JS, JavaScript. But what we are learning is not Angular JS. The most advanced version is Angular. Let us Angular visit angular.io. So official website of our course is angular.io. So mostly no one using this. Okay, so let's check. Just type Angular. Okay, if you type Angular, yeah, this is Angular web framework. It runs on TypeScript. Okay, official website is angular.io. Yes, this is our uh, website for Angular. Okay, so in this, what is there? A lot of features about Angular, and yeah. So in this, only one framework for mobile and desktop. And here we have features means what are the features of Angular, like cross platform. You can use it for web applications and native mobile applications, and even desktop application you can use Angular. And some features about it they have given. And if you go to docs, so docs means the complete documentation about Angular. So any information you want to know, and anything you want to implement in Angular, like routing, navigation, services, modules, every information, you can just visit the official documentation over here. So this is the complete official documentation, and step by step, you can just learn one after the other. Okay, and there is something called resources. This resources mean they will give you some what is the IDE you have to use, IntelliJ, WebStorm, VS Code, okay, and some tooling things like Angular CLI, Angular Playground, Angular University on server-side rendering. Okay, so their resources given NGRX is one of the resource. Okay, so Meteor one framework, like a lot of data libraries. This is most popular, NGRX. Okay, reactive extension for Angular, and UI components you have AG Grid and Angular Material is most popular. Okay, fine. So the complete information you can just watch here. NG Bootstrap. Okay, and so long story, prime basis, prime UI, prime Angular, those things. Okay, those are the resources about Angular. And events. Events means regularly some live events is going to happen, because Angular, there are huge amount of developers are there for Angular all over the world. So they're contributing to the open source framework for Angular. So they will meet. It's like a meetup. Okay, so live meetup, and they will discuss about the advanced uh, things what they have implemented there, and how to work with the Angular, and what are the future implementations. So everything they're going to discuss in the events. You can book these events. NGConf, NG India, Delhi. It's already over. Okay, fine. So October, mostly due to COVID-19, they are not making it regularly. Fine. So events you can find here, live events of the real Angular developers you can meet, and blog. So blog means any updates about Angular, any feature about Angular, you can visit here. Okay. For example, people will ask us, sir, in Angular 10, what is the, what are the features involved in Angular 10? And when Angular 10 was released, see, if you can see the blog, so see, version 10 has released June 24. Okay, so if you can just follow the blog to keep getting some updates about the Angular. So what is happening in Angular? Okay, so this is the version 10 about it, and they tell you what is the new release. Okay, what type of things they made, what are the changes they made, everything they have documented here. Okay, and what browser it supports, what browser they removed. Okay, so complete information they'll give here, and how to update to Angular 10. They'll give the information. Okay, so any information you want to know about Angular, just follow the blog, official blog of Angular. So there you get the information. Okay, so along with this Angular, we have Angular CLI website, and this contains the complete a command line interface, like which command is for what, component services for what. So complete documentation is given in the separate website. This is a part of Angular. This is the actual Angular website, and Angular material is there. So this is like a UI framework. Initially we are starting with Bootstrap, and lastly we'll see this material UI, just like a Bootstrap, specifically designed for Angular. Okay, so this is Angular material, and in future we also see prime Angular, prime Angular. So this is lastly we'll see this is another UI, uh, I mean UI library, just like our Bootstrap. Okay, prime ng. Okay, and we also have for React prime Reactor. This is for Vue, prime Vue, and prime faces is for Java. Okay, Java people. This for Java. Okay, so React, Vue, and this is for Angular. Okay, let's forget about all this. Angular CLI and Angular. Okay, so I hope that's created. Yeah, it's got created, and fine. Now, so first step, what we have done, we just create a folder structure. Where is the folder structure? In this location. Go check, see first tab. So if you open a first tab, see there's many folders has created. You can go to src folder, a lot of files, app folder, a lot of files, like too many folder structure. Okay, now the second step is, once you create successfully this application, you have to import this complete setup to the web stream or VS Code to write starting of the code. Okay, to develop something, because where we develop is on the web stream. So generally what we have did is, for TypeScript we create everything from the scratch by ourselves, create new folder and everything. But for us Angular, we got everything and just load it, and from then we have to start. It's not from the scratch. Okay, so let me load this to my web stream, and then let me start the server, and then we'll understand the flow. Okay, so let me load it. How to load? Go inside of a tab. See, go inside of a tab, and you need to copy this address. Go to web stream, file, open, paste. So as soon as you paste, it detects the file name, and just search it and click on OK, and this window, the same window, it opens. So you can visualize all the files and folders in your web stream now. Okay, so in this, if you expand it, you have huge amount of files. So we understand what are all the files available and what is the control flow. But before that I want to see how to run the application. See, all commands are not finished. We made this command, right? So this command is to create a project. After you create a project, you need to go to inside of that folder, and ngserve is the command to start Angular server. Okay, the local development server, you can start using ngserve. But for us it is not my dream app. For us it is first app. So you need to go inside a first app and then run the command called ngserve. Okay sir, where can we do this? You can actually do here. You can just say cd space first app, and here you can run the command. Or else, instead of using this external command prompt, we have integrated command prompt in this, right? So you can just click on this terminal window. You can click on the terminal window. It is already there in first tab. So make sure you are inside a first tab. Okay, because all folder structure is there inside a first tab. Okay, inside. You have to run the command. How to start Angular server is ng server, not server, just ng server. Enter. Okay. So once you hit the command, okay, I tell you, command is ng serve. So once you hit the command, it's gonna completely build the entire Angular project, and it opens a browser. So that runs on a port number called 4200. So your Angular application every time runs on 4200 port number. Okay, so the path will be like this: http colon slash slash 127.0.0.1 colon 4200. This is your address of Angular application. Okay, to test and everything. Okay, so I think it asks for something. Would you like to share anonymous usage about this project? Yeah, it's very basic project. I don't want to share my usage information to the Google people. Just say N. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Just say N. And okay, they're asking, are you want to share the data usage of your project? It's not that level of project. Very first step. So just wait for it. Okay, just say N. Enter. I think now it's trying to build. It takes some time. First time build takes time. Next time onwards will be a bit faster. So it is compiling all your content. It was in actually TypeScript. So it's keep compiling to the JavaScript and it's completely bundle it. Okay, and it runs on the address call this one. Okay, so let's wait for some time. What is the usage of Git here? If you want to deploy or if you want to push your source code to the GitHub, okay, so for that reason Git is required. Okay, so as of now we are doing local developments, not pushing to GitHub repository. Okay, and come on, 50%. Okay, I think it's almost done. Mm, yeah, successful. So, yeah, so you see, Angular live development server is listening on port number localhost 4200, or else 127.0.0.1 is the local host only. Otherwise, you can open like this localhost 4200 or 127.0.0.1. So once it is done successfully, you can open a browser with the URL 127 4200, enter. Okay, so this is your Angular first application. So this is the content which is made automatically by Angular. Okay, so see 4200, you got this. So whenever you create a fresh first application of Angular, you get this page. Okay, before we understand the flow, let's understand what are the file structure and what is the file belongs to each folder. Okay, and I have proper notes about it. Okay, so I show you the notes first and then we look into each file, because in notes also I given each file belongs to what. Okay, so I shared notes from today. I think it's there in yeah, I show you the notes. Workspace, UI development, Angular, uh, notes. Okay, some information and version history, commands, Angular CLI command. This is what we have done just now. Okay, and see, this is what you got it now. Okay, so first application, how to create first step, and you say yes and yes. For CSS and Angular routing, you get this URL and you get this page. That is what we are now. Okay, so after that, if you want to see the folder structure, what is module, what is component, and folder structure is like this. So which file belongs to what? So I have explained completely in this notes, and every code snippet also have explained. Okay, this is your notes. Okay, but we are not done with all the bindings and all, so we'll see that. Okay, Fine. So let's start with this notes. I'll share it. Okay. Fine. So now let's start with what is the folder structure in Angular. So first step, this contains E2E1 folder. So this is for end-to-end testing of your application. Okay. And there is one folder called node modules. This contains a collection of dependent modules of JavaScript, because one Angular application is runs on there are plenty of JavaScript libraries is required to run one Angular application. Okay, so all the supported JavaScript libraries are available in this node modules folder. Okay, we don't need to create them, it comes automatically. uh, the huge list of libraries. Okay, fine. And then there is one src folder. So src folder is just like your source code. So any source code if you want to write, you have to write in a src folder. Okay, and a browser, this is just browser related configuration, editor configuration. And git ignore is for GitHub specific. Okay, so what is the folder you want to push to GitHub repository and what not. Okay, you can give some restrictions what folder can be pushed to the GitHub. That is this file git ignore. And there is one configuration file called angular.json. This angular.json is a configuration file of Angular. I'll just show you inside what content is there. Karma configuration is for testing configuration using Karma. So Karma is a library which is used to test our application, unit testing. Okay, and package.json is a complete project configuration. And there is a package log.json, so that is contains dependencies modules. Okay, actually in package.json, this Angular application is depend on certain library, and those library depend on some other library. That nested library will be here. Okay, and there is one readme.md. This is like instructions how to create a project and how to run your application kind of. Okay, unit test cases, how to run and all, ng generate component, like that instructions. And this ts something you see, right, this all belongs to TypeScript configuration. Okay, so ts config app.json, ts config.json, spec.json, ts lint. This is TypeScript application configuration. This is the TypeScript language configuration, and this TypeScript testing configuration, and this is syntactical configuration of TypeScript. So you have 4 TypeScript configuration files. Okay, and package.json is a complete projects configuration file. It means, see, if you want to run the application, we hit the command called ngserve. So where is this ngserve is there is in this package.json. Okay, some scripts will be there to run the program, to build the project, to deploy the project, everything will be there in package.json. There is one angular.json. This is Angular specific configuration. Okay, so here you can configure the style sheets and extra JavaScript files you can configure here. Even Bootstrap you can configure here inside Angular specific configuration. Okay, this is about a outline folder structure. And now let's talk about src folder. This is most important. And when I go inside src, here you have a lot of files. App, app is a sense your app module. I show you the folder structure now. Yeah, see, Angular application. This is your first app. Okay, in that root app module, that is this app, inside you have it. Okay, and app actually contain the source code of components and all will be here. And there is one assets folder. Assets contains your image files. Okay, mostly image files will be there. Any text files, image files will be in assets. And environments, this is the configuration for environment variables, like a production specific environment variable, like server address, database address, so those type of things. Any secret keys, credentials you can keep in this environments. favicon.ico, this is just this icon, this small icon. And html, index.html is this one. This whole page is coming from the index.html, because every website index.html is a home page, that is this one. And main.ts, this is a main TypeScript file to start up your application startup starts from main.ts. Okay, and polyfill.ts, I don't know, this is just for progressive web apps. As of now, just ignore it. Okay, nothing is there inside. And style.css is a global style sheet for the whole application, and test.ts for testing specific configuration. Okay, some testing configuration you have it. Okay, fine. Now inside the app, mostly if you can see this, you have C, CSS, HTML, spec, TS, module, routing. Okay, now we have to understand each of this file. Okay, now see here, Angular application into divided into multiple modules. So the very first module will be the root module. Okay, that module is app module. It means this is the file app.module.ts. So this is the root module of your application. Okay, inside only you can create any of your module. Okay, this is the root module of your application, and in that module you have a specific components. So Angular itself comes with a root level component that is called app component. Okay, so app component is here. This all the files belongs to app component. You can name it, see, app.component. Okay, as we all know, each component is a collection of one HTML, one CSS, and one TypeScript, extra one spec.ts. So total 4 files for each component. So root level they given one component called app component. So that component contains HTML, one CSS, and one TS file. You can check now, CSS, HTML, spec, TS. This all belongs to one component. Okay, this is the folder structure. Now we'll understand what is the control flow. What is the flow, sir? From where the application flow starts and where it goes, and what is the source code for this content? Let's see. So you wanna know that? First of all, whenever you enter this URL, right? Whenever you enter this URL, I got this page. So how I got this page is, just remember, for every website, home page will be index.html. Okay, it can be Angular, it can be React, it can be Vue, anything. For every website, home page will be index.html. It means the complete content is starting from the index.html, but not complete source code is written there. It is divided into modules. So it is coming from some other module, some other location. Wait. So when you enter this URL, go to index.html. Let's see what is that. See here, index.html. If I open there, what is there? Nothing is there, right? You have a header part, you have body part. That's it. There is something mysterious is there, app root. What is this one? In HTML, see, in the entire body represents what? The whole, the body tag represents the whole body of the page. The complete white space, what you see is body tag. So in that, what is there? No source code, nothing, just one app root, one custom tag, app root. Sir, what is this one? You know what? This is nothing but your app component, app component. Okay, so for example, if you see this diagram, navbar is one component, sidebar one component, main content one component. So each component is a collection of multiple files. Let's take about navbar. Okay, so navbar contains one HTML file, one CSS file, one JS file, sorry, one TS file. Okay, let's take 3 files. Okay, sir, how can I represent this content on my HTML? Is every component will have one custom tag. See, simple. In HTML we have tags, right? HTML tag, head tag, like section tag. Like we have different predefined tags. Just like that, in Angular, uh, you can create a custom tag like this, app root one custom tag. For navbar, it will be app hyphen navbar is a custom tag. You want to make a sidebar, app hyphen sidebar is a custom tag. So what is the logic behind it is this is a collection of these files. So all this collection of files configuration is this tag. So every component is nothing but a one custom tag. Okay, you can use that tag a number of times. So how many times you paste that tag, those many times the component will display. Okay, it's like reusable. Okay, so this is the meaning of root component. See, in this we have a root component, this one. Okay, so this represents with the tag called app root. Sir, where is this configured? Is I show you. That is available in app. See here, app.ts. If you open app component.ts, this is the TypeScript file which having a lot of uh, configuration. In this, see select our app root. So this is the location of your custom tag. Okay, so for app component, tag will be app root. So whatever the name you write, the same tag you have to use, and it is configured with one HTML and one CSS. Okay, and any data you want to project on this HTML, that we can write in this TypeScript file, this class it is. Okay, and now let's see the CSS. No styles at all. Okay, fine. Sir, if no styles, then how come this is coming? Actually, they mix everything in HTML. See if you can go to app.component.html. If you go there, see this is the source code of this file. You want to know? See style tag they write in this only HTML only. Actually, they're supposed to keep in separate CSS, right? Okay, that's okay. We will keep in CSS. So this is a whole source code, and see here. This is the source code started of this page. You have image Angular logo, that is this one, and then you have a span tag welcome, this one. If you don't know that, let's say UI brains something. Okay, technologies. Okay, then what? Come on. Yeah, it will refresh automatically. It is changed. Okay, so automatically internally one live server will run. Whatever the change you do in each file, your browser will refresh automatically for us. Okay, so UI brains technologies is coming from here, and then you have some I think this Twitter. Okay, something is twitter.com. Okay, svg file, and then you have a main content. In that you have some icon, this icon, and also you have see app is running, that is this guy, app is running, and first app. Okay, here something you have to understand. Sir, here something is there called in double curly braces title. Okay, so title is running, but title it is substituted with first app. What is that? Simple. As I said, for your HTML, any content you want to display on the HTML that come from the TS file. So in TS file, you declare the variables and everything like arrays, objects, everything you declare here. And the data, if you want to use here, we use this notation, this called Angular expression. So where is this title belongs to is TS file. See TS file you have title is first tab. So that first tab dynamically substituted here. So we don't need to write DOM manipulation, document dot get element by ID, set element by ID, not required. Just create a variable and use the variable in HTML. Okay. So if you want to change it, so title is what? First tab. That's why first tab is display. So I'll change this to second tab. Something we have to test it, no? Second app. Now check it automatically refresh because we did a change. Now it is changed to second app. Okay, fine. So we understand you can create a variables in the class. You can use the variables dynamically using this curly brace. Okay, fine. And then you have a lot of other code. This all belongs to this place. Okay, fine. So story is when you enter this particular URL, it is going to index.html. In the index.html, there is one app root. This is nothing but the root level component. It means this content is coming from root level component. And where is this app root is configured is in the app component.ts file, app root, and one HTML, one CSS, and this is the whole TS file. Okay, and your content is coming from this HTML. And let me do one thing, Control A, delete, save it. Now what? It will refresh, it's complete empty. Don't worry, we will create our own. Okay, we don't need that setup. Let's delete it. So in HTML is completely empty. It is now empty. So I can write something here, h2 tag, welcome to Angular component. Save it. Now check, welcome to Angular component. Okay, looks good. Fine. But something else you have to know. Yeah, of course, index.html app router, it works perfectly. But internally in Angular, they have configured something else. Sir, all of a sudden, HTML, how it detects this custom tag. Simple logic, no. HTML, this is HTML file, right? This HTML having head tag, body tag, it can easily understand because they all belongs to HTML source code, fine. But all of a sudden, how does HTML can understand this app root tag? Any configuration behind it? Yes, there is a configuration behind it to understand my HTML over here is I tell you the complete configuration starts from there is a file called main.ts. Okay, there is a main.ts because whenever you run the ngserve on your application, so what internally happens? Internally, what happens is there is a file called main.ts. In this main.ts, some configuration like Angular modules and all configuration. In that, see here, Bootstrap module, app module. So what is Bootstrap? Bootstrap is not just front-end Bootstrap library. Bootstrap means it's like your system reboot will happen. No, that's kind of. So whenever you enter the command called ngserve, this file will gets activated, and that is going to activate app module. What is app module? That is your this root level app module. So when you hit the command called ngserve from main.ts, it will initialize this app module. Let me go to app module. Where is the app module? In this folder. You can just press the control button and click on this. It will go to this file app module.ts. Okay, so this is the module configuration, the root module configuration. In that, this component also configured. So you can check in this bootstrap app component. So in the root module, one more component has been configured, that is this one. So this will initialize automatically app component, uh, this Angular component. If you can go inside, this is the component. So internal configuration, how this is starts working in plain HTML is then main.ts, it initialize app module, that initialize app component, and that is having a selector, and that selector if used in HTML it works. Okay, fine. And from the next time onwards, anything you want to write, you never touch the HTML. You have to write in the app module, app component HTML. So here only you have to write anything you have to write here, not in the index.html. That is a root level configuration. You don't need to touch. Only thing is you have to write here. So from here your application starts. Okay. So that is a complete flow about Angular. That's fine. Now let's start with something else. What is something else? What is something else? What we have to discuss? Okay, so Angular CLI commands. Okay, we know only one command, that is how to create a project. That's fine. Architecture, folder structure, control flow we have seen. Components, how to create, how to apply styles. Yeah, let's start with this part. Okay, fine. So we have app component, root component. In that, whatever you're writing, that is getting display here. Okay, looks good. And every component will have a style sheet which doesn't have anything. That's why no styles has been applied. If I say something called body tag, font family, Arial, and sans serif. If I add a style, it gets styles applied over here. Not applied. How come? Mm, Dude, it has to come now. Oh, it's not a body tag, it is h2 tag. Okay, h2 tag. Okay, so you got a style. Okay, fine. So now let's talk about how to create your own component, because I want to create one navbar, I want to create one sidebar, like multiple things I want to create. So how you create your own component is there is a command, because every component required one CSS file, one HTML file, one spec, one TS, these many files, and each file having a lot of configuration. So how to create all these 4 files automatically is only one solution, only one weapon we have is Angular CLI. Okay, using this command line we can create component, everything we can create. Okay, so I tell you one command to you. What is that is how to create a component, your own component. How to create your own component is ng is a command, generate component, and you have to give the name of the component. Command is ng generate component name. Shortcut also there, that is just like this, ng gc name of the component. Okay, G for generate, C for component, and the name of the component. So just like app component, I want to create my own component that's called card. This one card component I want to create. Okay, so what is component then? Just a small piece of UI. It's a small portion of UI. Like a sidebar is a UI portion, right? Like that. So card, I want to create a card on the screen. So I want to create a card component. Okay, so for card component, we need card.html, card.css, and card.ts file. So all these things will come all together using just one command. Okay, sir, where we gonna create? Where we gonna hit this command? Is I'll do one thing. In the app, I create a fresh folder called components. If you don't create it, it will keep in this location only, so that is slight clumsy. So I keep in a separate folder. Yep. So in this components folder, I want to create a fresh component called card. So how to create is nggc card. This is the command. So let me open this particular location. Right click, components, right click, open in terminal, and here you run the command nggc card. Okay, and then enter. Yeah, fine. So you got one HTML, one spec, one TS, one CSS, and also configured in app module. It is given some entry in the root module. Hey, you have one component has so created like that. Okay, now check. Let's close all these guys. Let's close all. In the app, in the components, you have a card folder. In that you have all the files, right? So I got all the 4 files. Fine. Now, if you open a HTML, I got card works. Okay, some content is there, but when I open a home page, I don't have that thing here. Card works is there, but it is not there here. Why it is not there here is you have created a card, but this card is not no way connection with root. See, for example, in this diagram, see, you create, this is app component already there. Okay, I create some card component. Okay, let's take this is card. I create a card, but this card is not connected to root app component. So how to connect is, see here in the card, I have a tag. See, card specific custom tag is app card. So where we use this app card is, let me configure this in a root so that this root is the display. Okay, let me configure this in the app component. How to do? Go to app component.html. Below this h2 line, I add app card. This is my custom tag. So this custom tag contains the ts file, html. This is the content. So You got the card works. Okay, so you can create a component and you can configure the component in the root component so that you can display here. And this component is reusable. If you write this tag multiple times, what happen? Those many times your component gets substituted there in the DOM. You got those many times it works. Okay, so looks good. I don't want this many, I just need one. Okay, so we know how to create our own component. Let's see how to add our own styles as well. Okay, how to add styles? How to add styles is, first I don't like this header part. I want to make this like a proper nav bar. Okay, to visualize what is the heading, and then we'll talk about these guys. Okay, so every component level we have style.css. I mean component.css, you can write styles, but I prefer writing global styles like in the styles.css. So here you can write all the global styles about the entire application. Okay, so what I do is in the root I don't need anything, it is just empty. Okay, so here I want a nav bar, so let's add a nav tag. In that one anchor tag, href just hash, I just make something called app. Okay, let's say like this, welcome to Angular. Okay, so I got a nav bar with welcome to Angular. Okay, so for this one I want to apply some styles. So either you apply the styles in uh, app component.css, or else you can write some styles in the global styles.css. This style.css, where is that? Here, this is a global one. So I say nav tag, I say some background color, let's say background uh, linear gradients. I want just make some combination of colors, so 45 degrees, just a regular CSS. Okay, dark red, and okay, let's say like this, black and dark red. Okay, fine. Can we check? Yeah, I got it. And I don't need this extra space, that is body tag. Okay, so body, let's say margin 0. I got, okay, no space. And let me change this some padding. Don't worry, in future we'll add, after this example we'll start with Bootstrap only. Everything with Bootstrap style. Only first example we use the regular CSS. 5 pixels. And what else? 5 is very less, man. 10 pixels. And let's also add some font family. Font family, Arial and sans serif. Okay, fine, looks good. I don't need this underline, so nav space, a tag, color white, text to decoration, none. So you get the nav bar. Okay, it's very basic nav bar. Can add some more font size, 20 pixels. Okay, fine. So that's your nav bar. Okay, welcome to Angular. Welcome to Angular components. Okay, so this is your home page. Now, fine. Inside below this, I want to design one nice card. Okay, how to design a card? So card means I need to make a separate component, that is card component. So let me attach the card component here. How to add? App card. If you add this automatically inside card HTML, what is there, that will substitute there. So you get the card works. I don't want just like this. I want to make some nice design of the card. Okay, so what I do is, let's make something more. Can we do one, okay, one division with the class called card. Okay, in that I need another class called card body. In that I need some heading, some h3. Let's say something called good morning, and some paragraph p dot lead. This P with the class. So shortcut I tell you, simple. If I say P, right, P tab, paragraph tag will come. I want paragraph with a class name. So P dot lead. Anyway, it's not bootstrap. So if you can make dot lead tab, class will come. Okay, that's a shortcut. Tab, press tab. Okay, I read some paragraph. Just say lorem. Okay, write like this. Class lead. Okay, so lorem 30 tab. This is one shortcut. I think if you can follow my UI examples, there I used to write like this. Lorem 30. So some 30 dummy words I want. So just say lorem 30 tab. So lorem is a keyword. So to print some dummy text, you get some content like this, dummy content. At least it looks like a paragraph. If you want some more content, you can say lorem 300 tab. You get a huge content like that. That is a command. Okay, so I say lorem 10. So only 10 words will come like that. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4 also, but I need just 30 words tab. You get like this, and never make a space. So lorem 30 tab directly. See, lorem 30 no space, and after this tab. Okay, fine. So I want convert this like a proper card. Okay, let's make 40. Okay, let's convert this like a proper card. So how to convert? This is HTML source code, and where you write the styles. See, in HTML we write this code. Styles were in the CSS. In this, what is the class card? So I used dot card. Let me give some box shadow 0 0, some 10 pixels and black color. I got some box shadow. Let me reduce this width. Let's say width some 250 pixels, and let me give some space around. That's a margin. So margin some 15 pixels, and also give some padding of 15 pixels. Okay, let me make some nice rounded corners, border radius. You know already about these styles. Fine. So you get the card. I want to make some nice what I want to give some nice background color for that. So let's say background linear gradients 45 degrees, comma some um, deep pink and blue violet. Let's check. Okay, you get some color. Okay, fine. And I want to just increase the font size a little bit. Yeah, first let's start with another class, what, card body. No styles for card body, that's fine. uh, Lead, I need some styles. Let's say dot card body space lead. I give the font size some 18 pixels.
Inline CSS we can use.
Yeah, you can use, but I never encourage writing inline CSS because it's a complex application. Okay, fine. So you got one card. Okay, fine. Now I want to make multiple cards. Okay, can we do one thing? Can we copy this and paste it and paste it? So you have three cards, but all three cards display like this. I want to display them side by side. You can just say display inline block. You display the cards side by side. Okay, looks good. Fine. And I want to change this content. One is good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay. One small data binding concept I tell you. See here. Let me also write something in TS also, right? In HTML, we write the content. In CSS, we write the styles. In TS, what we do? My plan is I want display good morning here, good afternoon here, good evening here. Okay, so we have seen first application, right? There they declare something in the TS file and they configure something in there, right? So I want to do that. So let me declare some data. Any data you want to display that come from here, TS file. So I do one thing, public message one of type string is equal to good morning. I have one string. What is error? Okay, okay, fine. So it says error. It is nonsense error. See, missing white space. Okay, here. No, only here. Okay. Actually, this is not the error. That unnecessary TypeScript lint is applied. Okay, so first time you get this type of issues with WebStorm. To resolve this issue, it's not error, okay? As it is, we know it's perfectly correct. There is no error at all. But to fix this, you have to disable something. Okay, so what is that you have to disable is to avoid unnecessary errors like this. Okay, so TS lint you have to disable. You have to disable something called TS lint. Okay, so first time you have to do, and next time it starts working. So how to disable this is, if you don't want this type of nonsense errors, just click on file settings. In that you can go to language and frameworks. In that TypeScript, uh, yeah, let's expand. No, sorry. It's not that one. File settings editor. In that, if you click on editor, inspections, here also you can see right side, you can see inspections. If you click on, so for all this you can select something called TypeScript, expand. In that you can find something called TS lint. This guy you have to uncheck, only this TS lint, not all, only this TS lint, uncheck, apply. Okay, so now this error will go. Now happy. Fine, I have one variable like this, two more variables. Control D to copy the previous line. Control D for Delhi. Message to 3. This is good afternoon, and this is good evening. Okay, so you have three variables are there, and these three data I want to display on each of my card. How is using Angular expression. We will talk about all the expressions. Now one expression is double curly braces, and you have to give the name on HTML. Generally, like regular website development, if you want to display some data on HTML, what you do, document.get element by ID and set element in your HTML, you do a lot of story. But here very simple, straight away. Declare a variable and use the variable directly in a HTML. Sir, how? See here, good morning is there. I removed. What happened? If you remove good morning, nothing will be there, just empty. Okay, inside, write double curly braces. In that, what is a variable you want to display? Message 1. So you can just say message 1. Okay, so message 1 value is good morning. So that good morning will substitute in place of H3 dynamically. So now check good morning. Okay, so in this place, message 2. In this place, message 3. In React, it is single curly brace. In Angular, it is double curly brace. Okay, so a lot of other things also there, but we'll see that data binding and all. This one example, that is expression Angular. See, I got good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Fine. Uh, that's it. This is about how to apply the basic style sheet for your component. But now I don't like writing these styles because if you want to develop some complex application, keep writing styles. So you only focus on styles, so you never focus on Angular. Okay, that's why we will use immediately the library called Bootstrap. So I want to make the same example in a Bootstrap. Okay, let's see how to configure the Bootstrap and how to use that. Okay, before I do that, before I configure Bootstrap, let me take a backup of this content. Okay, how can I take a backup? Where you write the code, I don't need to copy the whole folder structure because that contains 200 MB. So just for the small example, copy 200 MB not looks good. So tell me, can you tell me what are the files we change? Only src folder I change. Anything else I change? Nothing. So just copy only src folder. Okay. So what I do is, In here fundamentals, I create like that. I just in this fundamentals I create a folder 01 hyphen Angular hyphen CSS hyphen styles, first folder. In that only src folder I'm keeping. So I will be sharing only this folder to you. Okay, like this multiple folders whatever you create daily, but in this not complete folder structure is there, only src folder is there. Sir, then how can I execute my program if you have only src? Simple. You know how to create a project, right? First step, you create a project. So in that project just remove the src folder and keep my src folder. That is the example. Okay, so unnecessarily don't create the project every time. Okay, it unnecessarily leave a lot of space, because we will develop almost more than 60-70 kind of applications will create. So never make that. So I'll share only src folder. You create a fresh application there, replace the src folder, it work. Okay, fine. So I have taken a backup of src. So now I can do something in this. Now I can delete the components folder and not allowing. Maybe I'm there in that folder. Yeah, here exit. Oh, got error because I remove the folders now. Let's stop it. Okay, now check. See, components folder I delete, and app component I delete. App card, there is no card like that. Okay, so it is fresh now. This empty. Okay, and let me start the server one more time. Npm start. Okay, so I just remove the components folder. That's what we create now. And then I remove the configuration of app card from here. So it is back to original application. Okay, fine. So it will start. Meanwhile, what is the plan is we are going to create an application using Bootstrap. Let's see how to configure Bootstrap. Once you know how to configure Bootstrap, we can do any example on Bootstrap. We can start using the Bootstrap components. Okay, so how to configure Bootstrap? First tell me, you want to configure Bootstrap just regularly for any application. So there are a lot of files you have to connect. If you can see my Bootstrap tutorial, you understand this. To configure Bootstrap, you need set of CSS files to configure, and you need some set of JavaScript files to configure. Okay, so what CSS files you have to configure is, you need one bootstrap.css, and you need one mdb.css, because I'm going to use the rich library of Bootstrap. I show you. For example, if I say Bootstrap, this is official Bootstrap website, right? Official Bootstrap website. So on top of this Bootstrap, one more library has come, that is MD Bootstrap. This is little rich than this one, Material Design Bootstrap. So this is little rich UI when compared to regular Bootstrap. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, internally that is this only. So for that extra mdb.css along with one style.css, my customized style. So even I want to customize something, my style.css. So three files. For JavaScript, you need one jQuery.js, and one is swapper.js, and you need one bootstrap.js, and you need one mdb.js. mdb.js. Okay, so you want these files and these files, so you can download them separately from Bootstrap website Bootstrap files, jQuery website jQuery files, mdb website mdb files. Okay, so and how to download and configure, you can just refer my one YouTube video. I think you know about, but I'm just showing. If you can go to my YouTube, there is a playlist. In that you can check for Bootstrap configuration playlist. And if you want to brush up your knowledge on Bootstrap, you can refer this 40 videos, and here we made some 5 websites on it. Okay, so first one, environment setup. So here I tell you how to download the files and configure, and here we have a lot of information: tables, spinners, pagination, nav bars, drop down, vertical, and some websites. Okay, so huge list of websites we made. Okay, so just go through that. Okay, you understand. So we need these files. So I don't need to download everything from scratch now. I have a folder which contains all the files, and don't worry, I'll give that folder to you. Okay, so that folder is, I think, somewhere I have. I go desktop. Bootstrap folder, yeah. This Bootstrap folder contains the complete setup, CSS folder, CSS files, and JavaScript files. Everything is there. So I need this folder. Okay. So let me copy this folder called Bootstrap. And where can we paste it? We can paste in the, some error is showing where cannot find the module in the. Okay, okay. Actually, we are not removed in the app module. Here is error. This is removed, no? Card component. Remove it. And any configuration, yeah, remove. Now happy. Okay, you can see that it is building. Let's see. We should not get the error. Um, come on. Okay, done. So no error. Fine. So let's copy the Bootstrap folder. Where you paste this in the SRC folder, you paste it. SRC folder, you paste it. Okay. Once you paste, if you simply paste, it won't work. You have to configure them with Angular. So how to configure, in which file we have to configure is, remember, Bootstrap will configure in one file called angular.json, not in HTML. You have to configure them in angular.json. This file you have to configure all these files location. Sir, how? Simple. This cancel. Don't add the Git as of now because we are not using any GitHub repository. So yeah, so I pasted. See, in SRC I have Bootstrap folder which contains something. So how to configure the files is angular.json. Let me go to angular.json. In this, this is angular.json. So in this, if you just come down, exactly line number 26 and 27. Yeah. So remember, line number 26 you have to configure. Okay, because why I'm saying the particular line number is, uh, if you just come down, there is another testing configuration. There also you have styles and scripts. So never configure here. This is for testing specific. Browser specific is here. Okay, so you have to configure in line number 26. Okay, so here you can configure all the files. So how to configure? First, Bootstrap. I say like this, src folder slash. I think no suggestion will come. In src, what is the folder? Bootstrap folder. Bootstrap folder slash css folder slash. In that, let me configure font awesome. Font awesome means, you can also add some icons. Let me grab the file name, paste it here. That's a file name, and like this we need multiple. One is bootstrap boot bootstrap.css, and one is mdb.css, and I have one my customized style sheet style.css. Okay, fine. And your JavaScripts you can configure here. Let's make same story. Src folder slash, you have a JavaScript folder JS. In that you have jQuery, popper, and all. So JS folder slash, oh, this is a huge name. Right click, refactor, rename. Let me copy the name and paste it here. Control D. Oh, comma missing. Okay, so this is popper popper.min.js, and what else? Bootstrap.js, and we also have lastly mdb.js. Done. So we have done the complete configuration. And also remember, when you do some configuration in angular.json, so better you restart the Angular. Okay, because we have done some configurational changes. So to detect all this, you have to restart an application once. How to restart? Very simple. Control C to stop it, and then let's say npm start. Oh, sorry, ng serve. Enter. Okay, now let's see how the Bootstrap has connected. Oh, people have a lot of chatting. App component, root component. Are there any chance of taking custom component? Yeah, we can create a custom components. Okay, okay. These are all the questions. Yeah, it's building now. Um,
In card component, there were a few components from module,
uh-huh,
init and
uh-huh,
everything.
uh,
Can you describe them?
which one in the card component?
Card component that you deleted.
Okay, okay, okay. Actually,
It has imported some files from module. Have
yes, yes, I tell you. Actually, when you hit this command, right? Where is that? Yeah. When you hit the command nggc name of the component. So what it does, it will first create one HTML file and it's also create one CSS. It also create one TS file. Okay. So once it's created, last line you can see something called it will do some configuration in app.module. This configuration also come automatically with this command. Okay, so I remove all these files, but I have not removed the configuration. That's the problem. I show you the same story now. Okay, let's create a new component. It will make a configuration in the TS file. Okay, so I removed that one because this module is this component is not there now. So I removed that configuration also. So I show you. Okay, so Bootstrap setup is configured and started. Go refresh. Yeah, just empty now. Fine. And if you're using Bootstrap, then then don't use this nonsense style.css. I mean, this is not required because you can just use with Bootstrap. Delete. If I delete, refresh, it has to refresh automatically. Yeah, it is like this. Okay. So can we write a proper navbar code only of Bootstrap? Yeah, better we'll do that. Let's add nav tag with the class call navbar. See, all Bootstrap classes are coming automatically for us. Okay. So navbar dark bg dark. I want navbar. Okay. So bg danger and navbar expand sm classes. In that anchor tag, let's say just slash and let me give a class called navbar brand. Okay, let's say something called Angular with Bootstrap. Okay, so now check. You have a Bootstrap navbar. Okay, looks good. This is how you configure. Fine. And here below, I need card. I need to create a new component called card again because the old card I removed. This is a new source code. So how to create a card? In src folder, you right click new directory, create a components. In this, oh sorry, not in src, man, sorry, in the app. Okay, always remember in the app is the main location of your module starts from app. So in the app directory components. Okay, fine. So as of now we'll discuss components and then later we'll see services, modules and all that. Okay, in that I want to create one component called card. How to create a command is nggc name of the card. Okay, so where you hit the command in the command line of this location. So right click on this folder and open in terminal. Just say nggc card. See now what happens. See, it is created HTML, TS, CS and all, and also update. It has updated something in app module file. So it's create everything and also configured something in app module. So I have removed this line. Okay, I show you. See now. In components folder, I got card. I have all this, and this card component has been configured in app module, like this one, card component from my components folder, card.component. That is my this file, card component file. Okay, so it does automatically configuration and creation. Okay, let's start. Now this is my
This
component.
ng on init, ng init void.
This is yeah, this is actually life cycle method. We'll discuss them. We'll discuss. We have a time to discuss that. Just ignore
Okay,
life
and
cycle method.
it has imported component and on init from Angular core.
This is from Angular predefined method. It is.
The module is an Angular core. The library is Angular core.
Yes, yes, it is Angular. This is the initialized. This is coming from C Angular core. Correct.
Mhm. Uh, where is component you get used?
This one.
Oh, this is that.
This is
Okay,
just information to that is it is a component. It's not regular TypeScript file. It is an Angular component kind of instruction to the Angular. Okay.
this is our class, na card component class.
Yeah, it's card class only, but it is not regular TypeScript class. It is the component. It's a different meaning for Angular people. I mean, for Angular. So that's why it is defined in this way. Because in regular TypeScript, we never write this. If you
Mhm.
write this setup, it is like not regular TypeScript. It is a pure component. We have service. So differentiate is there. So it is a component
And we have to
configuration.
use that annotation also at the rate component.
Yes, yes. It creates automatically. You don't need to do it manually. The setup has come automatically, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So now I got this, and in HTML, what I have app works this default code, but I want to see that here. This is what root app component. Let me configure my app card in the root, that is app.component.html below navbar. Let's say app card. Okay, if I configure, I get the default message card works. Okay, so let's make some more content for this component, this our own component. Okay, so go inside in HTML, let's make something. Let me write something bootstrap card. So can we write, okay, let me start with some grid system because I want to display some 4 cards here. One container. Okay, the simple bootstrap I'm doing. Margin top 3, one row, single call MD3, in that one card, and then card body. Okay, so in the card body, I write something p dot lead with lorem20 tab. Okay, one card body I have. Let's check. So you get some card body like this. I don't
This,
want lead.
this
Just remove
card
the.
we can
Yeah.
copy from Bootstrap, na?
Yes, yes, you can copy from Bootstrap. I know some class names already, so I just type it. If you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
copy, you can
it's
copy
quite.
it. Yeah. So I have a card and I need some nice button here. So let's say button with the class btn minus dark color button btn minus sm. Okay, let's make some name, something called read more bootstrap button. So I got one small button like this. Can we add nice image on top of it? Okay, one new concept now. How to keep images here? Generally, you receive images from server, but we not discussed that level of Angular now. So let me keep my local image and read it and display here. Sir, how to read the local image? And first of all, where you keep the image? Image files you can keep in the assets folder. In assets folder, you can keep the images and you can load them to the component. Let me grab some images. I think I can go to workspace, some YouTube workspace, Bootstrap, no, Bootstrap for training, somewhere ultimate destination, images. Okay, nice. I have some cards. Yeah, one, two, three, four images. Copy and go to assets folder In this, I create a fresh folder called image img. In this, I'll paste. So I have nice images, 4 images, just cancel. I have 4 images in image folder. Fine. And I want to use those images in my component. So how to use in this, right? Image tag. What man, too much chatting. You can talk to me now. I can't see every chatting. What is the MDSM? MDSM. Oh, that is Bootstrap. Bootstrap. I showed right Bootstrap tutorial. You can just watch it. I tell you, MD means medium screen, SM means small screen, like that. A small button. This is screen size. Okay, just refer my Bootstrap tutorial. You understand? Okay, easy. Just only thing is you need to know the class names. Okay, so src I want dot slash. Where is that? Dot slash assets slash image slash card one. Okay, let's check. Oh, huge card. Let's make some class image fluid. This class is it fits your image in the card properly. Okay, proper. I got a card now. Okay, looks good.
How
So
did you given that path? Can you explain?
this is dynamic path. Like we
See,
have absolute path and relative path. This is relative path. Relative path means dot slash. I tell you.
double
Ha,
dots means parent.
parent and its parent. For example, see here in the app components card I have. See, my HTML is here, but my image is in this folder. So I come out from this folder, and then assets, image, this one. You can easily understand by using like this. Just say uh, dot slash. Okay, control space you do. So it is in card folder now. Dot slash control space. It is in this folder. No, there is no assets folder. Dot slash. Now you got assets folder. Enter. Slash. What is the folder? Control space. Image. Slash. Control space. All the files. Just select card one. Enter. That's the path.
Sir, is this
Can't
work
we use
in
four
the VS
dots?
Sorry.
Can't we use four dots? Four dots slash.
4 dot slash. It is a wrong path. No.
Okay, only parent double dots.
Hmm.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So I got image. So let's make multiple cards as well. So let me copy this, enter call MD3. So call MD3 means in Bootstrap we can divide the columns into 12 column layout. In one row we can make 12 columns. So 3 is there. We can make another up to 12 you can make. So paste. This is another column. You can check now. You get another card like this. Okay, so can we paste another total 4 you can make in row because it is 3 into 4 is 12. You can make in a row like that, but I want different images. So can we change this to card 2? This is we can change to card 3, and this we can change to the card 4. Okay, so let's check. I got all different images. Fine, looks good. uh, Anything you want to change? You want to give some background color? Yeah, you can change the background color as well, but that's your wish. Okay, like card body bg success and text white. You get something green color card, but not looks good. No, white only looks good. Okay, then leave it. Forget about that. Okay, fine. So this is how you configure the bootstrap. I repeat again, simple. These are the files you have to connect to make use of bootstrap for your application. So this bootstrap folder you can keep in src folder, and you can configure all this in angular.json line number 26. And don't worry, I share this src folder which contains everything. Okay, and once you have configure, this automatically gives you the class names, and you can just use the class name and design however you want. See, to make this much we have not even a single line of css. Okay, so that's the benefit of bootstrap. And don't worry if you're not sure about these class names. Parallelly you can visit my Bootstrap tutorial because there I have made a lot of examples. That is enough to understand Bootstrap. I show you one more time. Actually, there are some good websites I made. You can refer like in Bootstrap. So first we'll start with one very basic. See, first we'll start with very basic. What is Bootstrap onwards? Setup environment, typography, alerts, badges, colors and backgrounds, margins, breadcrumbs, buttons. In buttons example, we'll make a lot of buttons and forms, input groups, progress bars, tables, spinners, pagination, nav bar. We made a nav bar, no, that one. Cards, see this type of vertical card, horizontal card, like that. So I can show you one card. So there is a card somewhere. Where is the card, dude? See, this is a card. So how to make same card I made. So how to make that card I explained here. Okay, card body and all. So not only just components, we made nice websites. One is a travel yari website. So I explain every code line by line, so you can just watch like live. Okay, and this website I like actually. This is nice. This website. Yeah, so here I explain how to do this website. Source code also there. Okay, if you want to get the source code of this website, just come down in the description I given, download website. This is my GitHub account. Just click on this URL. You'll go here. So in this, you can download the source code. Just click on download zip file. You can download the source code of that website. Okay, so this is my GitHub account. Okay, so just please refer this so that you really understand what is Bootstrap, because mostly we use Bootstrap in the Angular.
Can't we
Okay,
just copy from Bootstrap website,
you can go to the documentation.
then customize it
Yeah, you
according
can,
to
you
our?
can. Yes, you can do that. Mostly some examples I do copy, but some I know, so I'll make it. So just go to components. Here you can find alerts, badges, breadcrumbs, cards, everything is there. Just go here. So you want to get this card, simply copy this code and paste it in place of image. See, exactly same thing I did. Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I write it, but you can copy it.
Hmm.
Okay, fine. So that's it. How to configure Bootstrap, and tomorrow we'll see how to make the data binding. Okay, so there are four ways we can do data binding, like interpolation and Angular expression and a lot of things. And then we'll start with events binding, forms binding, and then a lot of concepts. Okay, fine. So please practice up to here, and then we'll meet tomorrow, and then we'll start the real Angular from tomorrow.
Do
Right?
you share that note as well?
Yeah. This notes and today's examples also I share. And but please, one thing, I'm sharing only the SRC folder. Okay. For this example, I'll share angular.json also because we have done some changes along with SRC. Angular.json also we changed. SRC, angular.json mostly I'll share. Okay. So you have to create
No.
a fresh application and replace these files. Your example will work. Because unnecessarily, why 100 MB, 200 MB if I share in my Google Drive, that's even very hard to download also. Okay. So I keep the required files.
CLI
That
com
note that you put in Note plus plus, that is also there.
Hmm. This one.
Hmm.
Okay, this actually you can keep in this SRC. I used to create something called one folder called
One.
notes.
Okay.
In this, I create a file called notes.txt. So every classroom notes, I'll keep it here, just like uh, a running notes. Actual notes will be that file I showed you, right? That I'll share it. Okay, so today's link you can check TypeScript notes and Angular notes will come. Okay,
sir,
so yeah.
CLI command you are talking about ng generate component.
Hmm.
So it's like exist from Angular 2 version 2 or onwards 4 or 7
Angular CLI has come around Angular 4, it seems. Previously, people used to create manually.
manually, right?
Manually, they create a TS file, HTML, everything they'll make manually. So using this command, we can make automate. So like faster development.
Yeah.
I
So
think I think I hope it came from Angular 4.
So we can say like difference between so one of them like CLI command
Ha, yes,
in
yes, you can.
Angular 10.
Yes, yes. Actually, you can tell in the interview that I work on almost all 8, and versions. You can tell him currently we migrated to Angular 10 and we are working on Angular 10 because it is very easy to escape in an interview because if you say Angular 10, everything is automated. If you just say, tell the command, that's enough. Okay. So, because daily the way of programming is becoming very easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go deeper more and then you understand how easy it is, commands and all. Even NGRX also we have commands. Earlier they used to write everything scratch, like actions, everything. I show you one example how to create them scratch, and then next example onwards automated. Okay,
Can you give us example of writing that component
scratch,
manually from
manually,
scratch?
yeah. Okay,
It
uh,
will clarify something.
okay, okay, okay. We'll see that in tomorrow. Okay, okay, fine,
Okay.
yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.